Oh man, it's hard not to get pumped for this, because every single time I hear something more about this upcoming iMac, the more it feels like Apple just watched my iMac 2020 wishlist video and just decided to make exactly that. So yeah, bigger iMacs might finally be coming. Let's begin. Alright, so even more skepticism is also building for this because of Sonny Dickinson's report, but he is now also saying about this updated iMac that we'll be getting larger displays, which does actually align with previous leaks we've gotten from other sources with contacts within supply chains talking about a 23-inch iMac coming later this year. Sonny Dickinson is saying that there are, of course, two iMac sizes as per usual, but the smaller one is going to be somewhere between 23 and 24 inches, and the larger one will actually be growing quite a bit to 30 to 32 inches, which is absolutely a much more noticeable upgrade in screen real estate than the current 27-inch iMacs we've had for well over a decade now. And I've used 32-inch monitors in the past. It is a whole different kind of beast than using a 27-inch monitor. So they may seem fairly close, but especially knowing that they're going to be using this Pro Display like bezel all the way around that 32-inch display, it should mean that you have a footprint somewhat similar to the iMacs we have currently, just maximizing that screen real estate, which sounds so awesome. And honestly, the only reason we should doubt Sonny on this is because he claimed we would see this unveiled at Worldwide Developers Conference, which obviously we didn't. Quo is saying that in time we will see an Intel version of this updated iMac that could come out by the end of this year, and then later on, somewhere in 2021, Apple will showcase the Apple Silicon powered version of that iMac. But you know, Quo isn't perfect. He doesn't get everything exactly right, so I have a suspicion that the timeline is a little bit off here, and perhaps, and I've seen a lot of other people suggest this as well, and it makes a ton of sense, but Apple is going to wait on the redesigned iMac until they can adopt Apple Silicon. Now, whether that means Apple is going to unveil an ARM iMac at the next iPhone event and ship it before the end of the year, that would be awesome. That would be my ideal situation, but what's probably more likely to happen is Apple not unveiling, or at the very least shipping the Apple-powered Silicon iMac with the updated design language, with the larger displays, and having it look like an iPad Pro. They probably don't want to ship it until next year. Maybe that's when they have more time, or when they feel like the CPUs will be capable of handling what people expect out of a desktop all-in-one. And given Quo said the first ARM-powered iMac would be coming out in 2021, that honestly makes more sense to me than doing some like last-minute 6-month only Intel-powered updated iMac design for the end of the year, only just to replace it a few months later. Doesn't really quite make sense to me, so someone's wrong here. Someone's off, but the more and more leakers I'm seeing reference this updated iMac design language, the more I'm convinced it's happening. It's just simply a matter of time. And hey, my iMac Pro is still holding up okay. There's nothing, incredibly wrong with it currently, so I'm just gonna hold on to it as long as I can, because finding out that we're gonna have like a 32-inch iMac design that looks like an iPad Pro and it has that slim bezels, this is legitimately my wish list video. This is exactly what I wanted, other than it probably won't have 8 Thunderbolt 3 ports on the back. But at this point, maybe we'll hear that report, because every single day I hear another thing that I was like, yep, that's what I asked for. Yep, that's what I asked for. I should do more wish list videos, because it sounds like Apple might take inspiration from them at this point. But yeah, the reason I'm still a little skeptical of the updated iMac design coming this year is because we did see a few Geekbench results that suggested that an updated iMac, no, not a design, just a spec boost on the current iMacs we have, could be in the works. Also, people are noticing that 27-inch iMac shipments have been pushed way back into September, and usually if they're that low on inventory, it means that they're not producing that particular kind of iMac that much anymore. So it could be like any day now that Apple updates the website and says, hey, these old dated iMac designs now have updated CPUs, and now they have SSDs standard or something like that. Several sources have been talking about Apple updating the iMac in some kind of minor way this year that a lot of us were anticipating to see before the developers conference, and it didn't happen. Whether it was delayed by the pandemic or something, we don't know. But the Geekbench results are not like a confirmed leak, by the way. It's very easy to fake Geekbench results. You can alter those and make them say whatever you want and still have them show up on the Geekbench database. So don't 100% believe any type of Geekbench result. It could be real. It might end up being, updated iMac being tested internally, and for some reason the Apple employee is running Geekbench tests on it. I don't know. But the last time the desktop iMacs were updated was in March of last year. So it's definitely overdue for Apple to do some type of minor slight, here's some new Intel CPUs, here's a new graphics card, or let's update the storage options because of how incredibly dated they are. Still shipping spinning hard drives, still shipping Fusion drives. If we get one more regular iMac spec boost, you know, I wouldn't be that surprised, but in the past I've said that those spec boosts would kind of disqualify or discredit all of these rumors about an updated iMac design, whereas now so many sources are agreeing with each other on this updated iMac design language that I'm convinced it's coming. It's just a matter of time. And if you have doubts that Apple would release, you know, a spec boosted iMac and then 6 months later unveil a drastic new redesign and a reapproach to the whole iMac, then I encourage you to remember when the 16-inch MacBook Pro came out in October, because in May, which was only, you know, 6 months before that 16-inch MacBook Pro launched, Apple did do a spec boost for the 15-inch MacBook Pro. So I feel really bad for anyone who bought that. They were like, oh, okay, we got a little bit faster GPU, a little bit faster CPU, the 4th generation butterfly keyboard, okay, and then 6 months later, boom, thinner bezels on the 16-inch MacBook Pro, different design language, back to the Magic Keyboard, updated microphones, better speakers, and 8TB SSD option. All of that was 6 months after a spec boost. So if in one of these weeks of July we get, you know, just a slight refreshed iMac, I still expect the drastic, you know, refresh to the iMac that looks really, really cool and has the thin bezels and now a 32-inch display, which is epic. All of that could still be well within 6 to 9 months from that refresh. And as long as my iMac Pro doesn't, you know, explode in the next year, I'm still holding out for that updated iMac. I can't wait to see it, and I can't wait to try it myself. But let me know what you guys think is going to happen by hitting me up over on Twitter. Join my Discord. We can talk more about this stupid iMac and whether or not it's coming out over there. This is your Apple Sheep here. I'll see you in the next episode.